Eddie's already in. He loves Canterbury Park and the cross country Big Five, right, Eddie? Who do you like in the races two? And he's not giving
You
it
know,
out.
you should ask
Keep it.
Brady, our PA. He used to work at Canterbury.
Really?
He's the in.
Okay.
Yeah, he's very
So
sharp.
Brady's the guy
Yeah.
for the last two legs of the. I'm not repeating that, Eddie. I'm not misleading the public with your inanities. What else do we have? Eddie had a big weekend. He was on the tarmac for 3 days. Taste of New York Pavilion, Thursday through Sundays, over by Gate A in the Family Zone. A lot of fun, a lot of good stuff from New York State. Plenty of good things to check out there. Go on over, head on over. We also have first response. Oh, sorry. I got a
Oh,
little ahead of
cannot
things.
forget the giveaway.
No, how could I not think of a blanket on a day like
I
today?
know.
Get your blankets.
Well, you know, in all the picnics that Andy takes, you can lay out a blanket.
I have nothing against a picnic. I just, don't have time.
That's fair.
I wish
Neither
I had
do I.
I really wish I had the time for a picnic up here. Anyhow, you're going to come for that for the while supplies last, the blanket giveaway. Now, First Responders Day. Honor the first responders, free admission to all of them. There will be events throughout the day on First Responders Day, July 24th, that being today. And last but not least, 1 to 6:30 on FS2, covering all of today's action. Race number 1. Well, there is a horse in here, the 6 Birch Run, that's a pretty likely winner. Pay no attention to what's currently going on the board. It's hard to believe this horse won't be the favorite by post time, and if some firster is, it might be a very good sign. I mean, doesn't break, ends up getting sort of shuffled back towards last. It's the number 3 horse here, and gets badly steadied in here as well, Acacia. And this is a horse that had a real trip, and I thought ran very well to be second to a highly touted, easy winning first-time starter for trainer Danny Gargan.
I think so too.
Right in here,
If
he
you
gets
remember,
steadied out.
yeah, it gets shuffled back, and she was running in stops and starts, and ended up kind of having to make that middle move. That's not an easy thing to do for a 2-year-old. And the winner was able to wire the field. Highly touted Iron Orchard was a heavy favorite on debut. She went wire to wire, as mentioned. You might remember that I tried to pick against her on Talking Horses with this filly. So
did you?
I
Mine was
could
fourth.
not jump off the bandwagon today. Yeah, physically, I really liked Pan, who was in that race, who I do think should move forward. She's the 7 closing outside. But Birch Run, I thought a horse that really seemed like she showed that she was able to overcome some adversity, and I think she's likely going to be a short price in here today, but I really respect the 2 efforts that she's put forward so far.
I'm going to look to see how much money is in the pool while we're talking about this race, just to get an idea. Yeah, there's only $11,000 in the pool, so I don't really think these odds have much meaning to them. There is some early money, obviously, for Sparkly Mama. Flavian Pratt riding this horse of Vacoma. I think that made the horse a little interesting, and that's why I put her third.
Well,
you have her nowhere.
$5,000 for a 2-year-old by Vacoma.
Yeah.
She worked 10 and 2, and she was kind of asked along. She just
I agree.
was a pedestrian work. But that being said, it seems like pretty much everything by Vacoma runs, and this one worked very fast from the gate, 2 back, and she does have Flavian Pratt on debut. There is some pedigree in the 2nd generation, the sister to Grade 1 place, Tekelita, but I just thought there were a couple other more interesting prospects in here.
Yeah, I took a shot with the 3 Kula Bull. I see David made this horse favored on the morning line, so there must be a story with this horse. I was just guessing. This horse, a half to know it all. Audrey, who's actually a pretty solid runner in the 80s. The dam was pretty good, and with George Weaver, I sometimes just take his horses up here, and they've been very live. So I guess with this over the 6, but I'll probably use 3s and 6. You've got Spitfire who has experience second. I wasn't thrilled with this horse.
No, I agree with that. But one thing I will say is that she did face it was an open maiden special weight, and now she's in this restricted group. So I give her a little bit of credit for that. Prince of Broadway had experience in that race for Brad Cox as well, and I wrote down that she was a horse that probably wanted a little bit more distance, and she is by McKinsey, which would make sense. And so we'll see what she does second out. Quickly, I did want to mention about Kula Bula. She's by Lexitonian, who has had a winner. It was on the turf at Lone Star, but 4 for 8 of his runners have finished in the money, which I thought was pretty impressive.
Yeah, he won the Vanderbilt here a few years ago, upset at a big price for Jack Sixterson, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Race number 2, interesting race in 1 mile and 3/16, and there are a lot of horses that can win this race, and we'll start the conversation with Noble Confessor. And I think this is kind of a pivotal race for him because he was disappointing. Now, unfortunately, I haven't been able to see on Catalyze, been rained off about 3 times since this maiden win. He is a potentially talented kingman for Chad Brown and Klarovich, but This was disappointing for a horse that was very unlucky and ran against Zulu King and ran so well. I still almost feel like he should have beaten that horse. He's supposed to go to the front today and try to wire this field.
I agree. And maybe it's just that he's left a little bit of a bad taste in my mouth with some of his recent races.
Well, I
I
don't
probably was a
disagree.
bit harsh on him. And I do wonder about getting the distance, certainly on pedigree. I would think that he might be able to. He gets back to the turf, which obviously should be his preferred surface, though he actually ran okay on the dirt early in his career, but he clearly didn't handle the conditions last time. And then, as you said, just he was second best to Uncatalyzed.
Who might be pretty good,
Who
but
might
still.
be pretty good. I agree. I don't know with this horse. I just felt like
He needs to run well today.
he
really
has
does.
not
So
really yet taken that step forward.
I agree, and he was really good with some trips last year. Let's take a look at Royal's Pride and a Bourbon for Toby's last race. And I bet Royal's Pride in here. Jose gave this horse a sensational ride. And for those who said, well, he had to wait and go around horses, you can't have everything. This was a very strong inside bias. He saved ground the whole way. He got position. He had to swing out. He should have gotten by the winner of this race. He got by a Bourbon for Tony, but to be honest with a Bourbon for Tony, this was not a good ride by him. First of all, he
Yeah.
was the speed on paper. So what he was doing rating, and maybe they wanted to rate him. I don't know what instructions are on horses, but he not only rated, he was at least 2 to 3 wide the entire way around the racetrack. And a day he wanted to save ground. I thought he ran exceptionally well there. I think he's good with more distance in these races, and I have to take a horse that was wide against the track.
Yeah, I totally agree. I don't think that was instructions because I remember Maggie was pretty fired up after the race. And he got pretty headstrong. I agree. I was surprised he wasn't more forward. And this is a horse that I had really been excited to see stretching out because he just looks like one that wants to go long on the turf. He has that big kind of loping stride. And he, too, he got keen being off of it, and he had to kind of run and stops and starts. Not the easiest trip to go that distance, so I had to give him another chance. I thought Vintage Vino potentially
Show
could
the
take
replay
a
of their
step
last, the
forward.
last race, sorry.
I thought that he could take a step forward, second off of the layoff. This was a time on the turf course where you really wanted to be forward, and Tom Collins out of nowhere was able to wire the field in there and show a little bit more grit than he's ever shown before. And
well,
this horse,
the bias carried him along.
exactly,
That was
exactly.
Bad rides in
this horse was off slow, and he kind of rushed up, pressing, and just lost second. But I thought he could take a step forward.
Well, he's also better with a little bit more distance, and he was too wide that day, so I don't disagree. He's very live. I had him fifth. I couldn't put everybody in my tickets. I had to stay a
know.
little loyal to Royal's Pride.
I know.
You know, an Organite comes out of that race, and he did make a very good wide run, and he came from way back in a race that was dominated towards the front end. The only problem was that he saved ground for most of the running of that race before angling out in the stretch. I think worked for him. I still have a bit of a thing for him, so
Me
I've got
too.
him third. And I'll be honest, it's a little tough to make Belmont Union in here, but after that, there's nobody in this race that doesn't have credentials that they
This
can
is a
win.
fun one.
I guess Spun's a little tough because he was awful last time. I mean, Junior
Took
did
so
everything.
much money last time too.
I thought he was interesting
I
too,
did
but he
too.
stayed right on the rail, and he just
know.
didn't do any running in there.
Yeah.
So I'm moving on from him as well. Race number 3. And I've gone against experience a little bit, but I got to tell you, I'm a little confused as to what exactly to do in this race.
Yeah.
Bobrovsky, who you have on top, I'll let you
Yes.
talk about him. I didn't like the race that he came out of. Obviously,
fair.
you disagree.
Well, I mean, he was 1-2 that day, so it's
And
a
he
little
lost,
bit
and I don't
disappointing
like
that he
1-2s
didn't
that
win.
lose.
Yes, I agree.
With easy leads.
I agree. He didn't break the quickest, but then he got right out to the lead. And I mean, here he looks like he should be home. And it's the last few strides that he ends up getting run down that day. So I did go with experience. It's funny, in the pedigree in the bottom side, there's a lot more turf. The dam was all turf. She's the sister to significant form, multiple graded stakes winner on the
and
turf.
she's a Cairo Prince.
Hey Dakota, who was a graded stakes winner on the turf as well. But Dale Roman's keeping this one on the dirt. The works have been very quick, continuously, and we'll see what he does second time out.
Yeah, Nick Tamaro was more optimistic about this horse too when I was talking to him, and I think Imagine John is very logical in here. He's run fast races, a little above his head last time out, but he's shown up and run decent figures both times. I'm completely guessing with the two waiting on a sunny day. I mean, the foals in the stores were not that strong overall. The dam was trained by Jason Service. I don't know. I'm just sort of guessing with Kimmel because I didn't really know where else to go.
No,
I
that's
didn't
fair.
like the work on the one. No disrespect to Ron McQuett, who I like and respect, but he's now 0 for 41 over the last 5 years.
Yeah.
You know his last winner is in Saratoga?
Whitmore?
Right, Whitmore, when he got lucky coming up the rail and beat City of Light, it was 5 wide the whole
Yeah.
way. He is a half Del Grande O, Mr.
Yeah.
J, which I'm sure you know, but he's also after 4 horses that didn't do much
I
running
know.
on the dirt. And I just didn't feel like there were that many options here, so I'm going to guess with Kimmel, it's more of an anti-play than anything else.
Yeah, I think
Get
that's
out
fair.
here.
I know they were just like came to attack.
Guys are ridiculous.
I watched the last workout from the gate for Waiting on the Sunny Day. He was in a group of 3, and he actually broke the first step the slowest, but then in a flash was like up onto the lead and was going better than his company throughout. So looking like he has some ability.
Yeah, I wish I could have found some pedigree on Kinnick. I always like Michael
There's
Stanley's horses.
nothing to
It's
sink
just
your
nothing
teeth
going on.
into.
Hoosick
I know.
Falls is the interesting one. You have second, and I have
I know.
third. I mean, I'd love to see Jennifer get a win here. She won a race here last year, right?
She
At
did.
least
It was
one.
an awesome moment.
Yeah, she did,
And
yeah.
I thought it was interesting. According to the Clocker report, John Velasquez was aboard for that last workout as well, and he rides the horse.
She's got
which I thought
showing
was
fast
interesting.
works. I don't know
Yeah.
anything about them, and I'm kind of hoping she does well. She's a big fan of the show, so we
Yeah.
like that too. So I hope that she does well in here,
Absolutely.
and we'll see what happens with that one as well. Hoosick Falls, as you may or may not know, is about a half an hour to 40 minutes from here.
Oh, cool.
The one of the nearer OTBs. Maybe it's a little less, nearer
Nice.
OTBs. Yeah, I remember making a big score there back in 1991.
Nice. I wasn't.
I have
born.
some other stories about Hoosick Falls, but they're for another time. Race number 4. Race number 4, I mean, I'm not picking against New Attitude. You seem to pick against the home team a lot. I don't see any reason that this horse dropping down second start didn't run great, but ran well enough against a better field, and I'm simply not trying to beat this horse.
Yeah, she obviously makes quite a bit of sense. She was not the quickest out of the gate that day, but she ran fine. She looked to me like she could benefit from a race under her belt, and so she certainly should move forward. She's very much the horse to beat in here. I just had a little bit of a thing for Mackenzie's Glory getting back onto the turf. I remember seeing her last September when she ran 4th behind Quick Kick in what was actually an incredibly live race. Quick, graded stakes winner, Scottish Lassie in there as well. And I just written down that she looks more like a turf horse. So thought
What
she
about
was
her
a little
first
bit-
race of the turf, though?
I know she didn't run a step, but that was against maiden special weight, and now she's in a claiming field.
Okay. Listen, she's a wild card. I've got her 4th. There isn't a lot to go on. The horse that's really interesting here is Classic Cara.
Yes.
Because Classic Cara really ran last time, and I want to show the first 300 yards of the race, number 4, is going to breaks a little slow, but just gets completely sort of shuffled out of the running of this race and ends up like way back. And Ruben just takes the horse back, and doesn't have much speed, but ends up kind of drifting out in the first turn, ends up wide on the first turn, wide in the second turn, and I didn't think this was, to be kind, the best of rides, and picking up Dylan Davis is only going to help a horse that just got put in bad position and paid the price for it the entire way around. It was really running at the end. The other thing was, this was a very strong rail. The winner was on the rail before angling out in the stretch. The third place finisher, who returns on Friday, was on the rail the whole way. And this horse comes rambling down the middle of the racetrack. I just don't know where the hell this race came
I know.
from,
That
Acacia.
was
That's
my
the problem.
question
That's
with
why I
her.
put her on top.
I know. That was my question with her, because she's been at the maiden claiming level before, and she's not run like that. It was an outlier, and she ran exceptionally well, all things considered.
If I could totally believe that's who we'd see today, I might have taken her on top
No,
of
I
New
agree.
Attitude.
I agree.
You know, I'm going to probably bet her to win and make a big 3-5 in this race. I didn't really see much else going on in here. I've
No.
got Lotus Petal third, really by default. I mean, to
I
be
agree.
honest, if somebody else does well here, I'm not going to
Yeah.
have them.
I agree.
All right, we'll kick off the pick 6 in race number 5. Congrats if you had the pick 6 yesterday.
I
And
know.
we'll show Set, Vacation Dance running third in there. I don't like to pick short-priced horses, but I'm sorry. This horse ran very well
Oh, I
last
know.
time. The rail was good. The winner is good. And came out, got a good trip, but came out, and I thought just I don't see anybody in this race that has a chance to beat him if he runs even remotely close to his last race.
I completely agree, and I took a little bit of a wild horse in here, but I think that Set is very much the horse to beat. He was also gelded coming back, and I thought that made a difference in him as well, and just the way that he had framed himself up and the way he was acting prior to that race, where Rollo was that horse of Chris Englehart that had switched to the turf and now has run 2 huge races on the grass. And
I was berating-
kind of like, wow, it took a long time to get there, but he's been very impressive.
Right,
on the
we made a
grass.
lot of fun of Chris for
Yeah.
not running. He's got a big pedigree, and he didn't run him
Yeah.
on the turf until he was a 6-year-old. And I was coming in earlier, and not today, but another day, and I came with Chris, who's a terrific guy, and he
Yeah.
said, "By the way, I deserve all the abuse you gave me on Warolo." but the truth was, he actually did pretty well in the dirt.
He
and he
did,
made
he
some
did, I
money,
get it, yeah.
but he's gotten very good. So, what is the Seaver story?
So in the running of
Big Mets
that
fan?
race,
Big Mets fan?
no, in the running of that race, you could see he was kind of swishing his tail. He wasn't moving the most comfortably. And this is a horse that I just have always felt just when he runs his better races, it's when he carries his best weight. He's one of those horses that kind of wears his heart on his sleeve. And I know he's been with Tim Hills for quite some time. And he comes in here, and I thought, training pretty strong on the turf coming in for Bruce Brown. I wanted to give him one chance because he was a horse that I really wanted to like and wanted to give a chance last time out. And I just thought throughout the running of the race, not moving that comfortably. So I want to watch him and just see how he's warming up. But I felt at a price, he was a horse that would be overlooked and actually did have some races on the go back that could make him competitive. Could he beat Set? It's a tall order, but he's going to be a generous price.
Okay. I don't see it, but I've got him fourth. I didn't really see much else in the race, so it's fair. Bruce Brown, of course, was assistant to Tim Hills for many years before he went out on his own. I do wonder a little about Power Attack trying to wire the field, but the problem with horses like him and Seaver is even if they get back to their good races, they better hope that Set runs
I know.
significantly worse, and I'm not going to take that position. Now, I also don't agree with David. I think Seth will be 4 to 5 or less in this race. I mean, I know it's not Irad or Flavian, but I have a trouble believing the public's not going to be jumping all over this horse. We'll see what happens in race 5, the late pick 5 after a quick break.
You bet with Naira Bets. Bet any track, anywhere, anytime. Download the Naira Bets app to play today and get a $200 deposit bonus. Watch live horse racing, get expert picks, boost your bankroll with weekly promotions, and hone your handicapping skills with exclusive tips and tutorials. Download the Naira Bets app now. Sign up now to claim your $200 deposit match bonus. You bet with Naira Bets.
Welcome back to Talking Horse. Acacia and Andy. Race number 6 kicks off the late pick 5, and we'll take a look at Nina Kay running second to Mischief Lady, who was in good form at the time. Linda's been shopping for spots, heading this horse MTO in just about every turf race she could possibly get into and doing it, which means she probably really wants to run her, and Linda's having a fabulous meet so far, and I just didn't really love anybody else in here. I'm certainly not picking geopolitics. I thought Iris Jackson was a little interesting off the claim, but she's been running at cheaper levels.
I agree. And as far as Nina Kay, she's cutting back in distance. I mean, her race as a 2-year-old in the key sense was faster than anything recently Geopolitics has run as well. And Geopolitics is one of those horses that she just has that one race, that blowout win. And she, for me, is so tough to trust. I put her second because that seems to be where she likes to be. And she has speed, I know, but she's just not a winning type.
She's going to beat me. I mean, I can understand people wanting to use her, but I want other horses. I think the horse that's dangerous or interesting here is the 5 Tower 22. Take a look at her last race. I mean, I don't know where this race came from.
Where did the 80 by your speed figure come from?
And looking at the fig, I don't know. It's just sort of strange. If you look at the also-rans, the 4, 5, and 6, the figure makes sense. If you look at the first 3 and they put 6 lengths on the 4th place horse, it doesn't really make sense. And it's hard for me to buy suddenly that this horse coming up here is going to run those kind of numbers. But having said that, is turning back in distance, did run a big fig last time, and I don't like her, but I thought we should at least talk about her.
Yeah, I agree. I put her 4th. I didn't really know what to do with her because she was kind of in that dueling position, and they both got run down late in the stretch, but she dug in exceptionally well with a bit of a wide trip early, too. She's a horse that I thought, if there's any chance she could run back to that, it's such an aberration from anything else that she's run previously. I thought collect the data. Do you say data or data?
I think you'd say either. I'd probably say data, but I don't really care. Might be just depending.
You don't have a strong opinion on that?
I don't have one. I'm just of a strong opinion against, what did Josh say? Extremely unique?
Something like that, yeah.
Extremely unique today. Yeah. It took me a minute to respond because I had to get off the floor. I picked her second because I don't want geopolitics.
Yeah.
And Iris Jackson, I think, is a little interesting, trained by Robbie Falcone.
Of
I
course.
just don't know if she's really good enough.
I know.
And I hope this horse could improve, but obviously she has to improve a lot off the layoff.
Yeah.
But why is she even coming back?
I was
been so
just
long,
gonna say
it's
that,
like-
and she's protected. She broke her maiden for 40,000, and she's not in for a claiming tag off the layoff. That's what I was thinking.
And she's
that
working
she
at
must have
Monmouth,
been
and a
showing
lot of
something.
the Monmouth horses over the
They
last
do
couple
well.
of years that
They
have
do
come up
very
here
well.
have done extremely well. People working for Chad Brown and Monmouth do an exceptional job.
Couldn't agree
Race
more.
number 7. Oh, by the way, the other thing to say about that horse at Monmouth is that horse was wide against a dead rail.
Tower
So,
22.
Yes,
Yeah.
so probably benefited from the racetrack. My friend Steve says the race is phony, so I'm going to buy with him.
Okay.
Race number 7. Let's take a look at Senior Poncho and Gray Ace running second and third, because I do think Gray Ace, I think my man Mitch Friedman has a chance to have a good day today. I think he's got a bunch of live, he does. He has
He
a bunch of live
does.
horses running on today's card, and I don't think Gray Ace is impossible. And here I know finished behind the other one last time. Senior Poncho now gets IRAD, so the odds are going to be so reflective of that I'd rather have the 8 than the 2, even though they're the other horses I could use.
Yeah, Senor Poncho was 3 wide, kind of pressing the pace early, whereas Gray Ace was kind of up close part of it and then kind of dropped back and then re-rallied. So both of them second off the layoff. I absolutely agree. I think they're both contenders in here.
So what is your case for the horse that I picked? And we'll take a look at, I think this race is from February 27th when Good As He Gets ran third, beating a length.
Well, the last time ran for a maiden claiming race was on the turf, clearly not a turf horse. Last time out ran against far tougher, against Maiden Special Weight Company when he was last early, and you really, the closers were struggling to make up ground on that main track at that time. And then before that had some decent races against Special Weight Company over the winter. I thought was just finding himself in the right spot.
I agree. I thought he's been dirtied up since the claim, the first couple starts off that claim for Rudy, and now Fernando's only had him the one start, and I agree. He was very much against it. That was a killer field that he was in last time, just an absolute killer field. And I don't think he even ran that badly in there, so I'm going to take him as well, dropping down. Who else should we? Anybody else we need to talk about in here? I mean, I guess air raid's not totally impossible. The 5, I just didn't see this horse do the 5 Arcano do any running at all in there, and the speeds ran 1-3-2 around the track. So it's not like the horse was compromised by the way the race was running; just went backwards. So
yeah, I agree. My only thought was that he's a bit of a new face coming in here.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I got him fourth for that, but I wished he did some running in there, but maybe he'll run better for Jose D'Angelo today. Race number 8. Take a look at tax implications. I think I went back pretty far. I went to last August up here when tax implications finished second, Mally finished third. The problem with tax implications is that she has disappointed. She's run races that make her 1 to 9 in this race. But she's also been in races like this that she but to be fair, she lost to Breathaway. And I know that you and I are disappointed. We thought Breathaway could turn out to be better than she was. She's kind of lost some races we liked her in.
I know.
She's still a pretty good horse,
She is.
you know,
She
and
is.
she got a better trip to than Tax did. And I like what Flavian did trying to put her in the race last time, but it just didn't work out at the way the race was run, really. And I'm just not trying to beat her. It's pretty much between her and Proctor Street in this race.
No, I completely agree. And the thing about tax implications, too, is that she is coming out of all of those graded stakes tries. To me, and I'm curious your thoughts on this, it seems like she runs the same kind of race in graded stakes that she does in allowance company, no matter the class.
Listen, her
level.
Eatontown win was a very good race,
It
but
was.
she seems to be a chameleon that turns into her competition. Now, Proctor Street, but one of the reasons I took her over Proctor Street, who I like and hope runs well, and I always loved her pedigree.
I know.
She was out a long time. She obviously got hurt up here last summer. She was supposed to run the Placid. She didn't win it like her mommy did. I didn't think she ran that well in this race. I know the winner wired the field, but it felt like she only finished second by default. Now, maybe she just needed a race first, the layoff. And the race came back fast enough.
Well, no, this race, Viv Vuv came from behind.
The winner closed.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm confused. Yes, you're right.
Yes. And she was last, so she was kind of following the winner.
Yeah, she came
you know,
from
in
fourth.
that.
Yes, I apologize.
I
Sorry.
agree. But it was off of a big layoff, so I wanted to give her one more try because I was in love with her when I saw her in the Winter Memories. Just the way that she's put together, as you mentioned, by Proctor's Ledge. She was kind of the queen of the lakes up here. She won like the
She won them both. She won the Lake George and the Lake Placid. Yeah, she's a good horse.
She's a very good horse, and
I think this is her. Is this her last foal, or does she have one other? I thought I saw another one.
I don't remember.
Because I think she passed.
Yeah.
Was there a story? Was it you or Maggie interview her last year? Interview Patricia Mosley last year, maybe, and they was talking about the dam.
Wasn't me, so it might have been Maggie.
I feel like there was, but I'm getting old. She was also against the track in the Winter Memories. She was too wide, and the rail was very good that day.
She was. But I wanted to give her another try second off the bench.
No, I'm scared of her. She's dangerous. If anybody else wins,
and she's also a little bit less exposed than Tax Implications.
I agree, and she's not as stake-faced as Tax. But interesting, Flavien against Flavien won 2 races yesterday, right?
Yes.
Reminding people his career may not be over.
Yeah.
Because he had been 4 for a
He's
lot
finally
since the start.
picking things up.
It's tough around here the way Irad and Jose are putting up the wins.
It's amazing.
I mean,
and a lot of other guys are riding really well,
I agree.
too.
But
yeah.
they're
Kendrick Carmouche's riding well. Ricardo's riding well.
Joel's been riding great.
Joel's been riding really well. Yeah.
Don't ever leave Joel out. You know that
I posted yesterday. Joel's part of the family.
Start to get teary when Joel. Yes,
I
told him he was going out on a horse, and I was standing there, and Miguel was leading the horse, and I said, "Don't listen to a word that guy said." Miguel said, "Don't worry, he doesn't."
He doesn't anyway. No, it was funny though. We gave him Hugo, my nephew. Hugo, not a fan of Joel, unfortunately. Yeah.
No, it's going to be a problem for Hugo.
I know.
I'm going to have to bring that up.
You got to learn.
All right, race number 9, the Curlin, presented by Casamigos. Strategic focus.
Yeah.
I think Dave is being optimistic, making him 6-5 in this race. His last race, I know he got disqualified. Eddie, get your act together here. Stop sleeping over there.
Eddie's tired from his trip.
Second-time starter at 1 1/8, getting a 102 buyer. Malerchuk came back and increased his figure a point or two after this race. They buried the rest. I mean, Weightless is a pretty nice older horse. Yep. They made him look like a 10-claimer. This guy is good, and I think he's too good for this field.
And I think the fact that Malerchuk was able to kind of validate the number 2 in his next race, and he's since been sold. He sold at the digital sale for $525,000.
I'm glad I didn't buy him.
So you were the underbidder?
Yeah, I bid $20 for him, and then I was broke after that. No, I was not involved. I think he's very, very good.
I think he is too. I'm not going to try to go against him. I mean, I think he might be the goods.
I think we disagree on Crudo, and I don't think Crudo should be 6-1 in this race. Most people are going for the shippers. I'm sticking with the home team. I thought his win here was pretty good in the Sir Barton, and I don't think he ran that badly, considering at least in the Belmont, he battled it out. At least he wasn't just sitting 7th the whole way around the track. He at least did some real running in that race. I'm not convinced he doesn't have some talent.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I just felt that the 2 horses, and So Sandy and Fountain Lake in particular, were intriguing coming in from Kentucky. As far as Crudo in general, his speed is a great weapon. Yes, he battled, obviously was run down by the top horses in his class, and I think that this is just the logical spot. He also got pretty revved up before the Belmont Stakes last time out, so be curious to see how he acts today. Obviously, it was a huge crowd and a lot of energy there that day, but it seemed like he was kind of expending a bit of his race before the race was even run.
All right, see what happens. I'm more optimistic talking about Fountain Lake, and So Sandy, you have 2nd and 3rd in here, and this is their last race. I don't have a real knock. I know everybody's talking about how well the Churchill horses are doing, and they're doing well, except I don't feel like Churchill horses are winning that don't make sense. A lot of them are Joe Sharps. First of all, Joe's got 6 wins at the meet, and they're all relatively short prices, and they're running big races. But I don't see any evidence somehow, and I'm not saying you're saying this at all, or anyone's saying it really. Yeah. But I don't see some evidence that you really want to move them up. I think you want to respect them and respect the races they ran, and I kind of want to see So Sandy do it again, frankly, because where the hell did that race come from?
I know, but he also, I thought, So Sandy, I totally agree. Where did that come from? Yes,
no, Fountain Lake is fine.
Lake,
I don't have a problem with that at all.
Is the one I want out of that race. And he'll be a better price than So Sandy, too. But, yeah, I totally agree. I wanted to see if he could repeat it.
What about Hypnus?
Hypnus is
beat Fountain Lake also.
Yes, he beat Fountain Lake.
In this race.
He was just beaten by goal-oriented 2 back at Churchill. And then last time out, he seemed like he found the right spot to kind of get back into the winner's circle, and he kept kept going and finished well that day. Saw him down at Oakon, and he's certainly been a horse that showed that he could handle distance as well, as he was kind of put right from a maiden race into the Rebel, Louisiana Derby, Lexington. It seems like he's a bit back on track now.
I agree. I agree with all of that. I think he's dangerous. I got Chancer third. Maybe it's just feeling sorry for him. I mean, it just seems I'm not.
He actually did run well in the Tampa Bay Derby.
He did run well in Tampa.
Yeah.
He was awful in the Bluegrass, and he was awful last time out in the Woody. And it's starting to become a situation where I don't know that he necessarily is a distance.
I know.
He just never improved. He was a precocious 2-year-old that just never went anywhere, and it's starting to feel like that. And Chad puts him in here. I guess he didn't want to cut him back to 6.5 in the Amsterdam?
Yes.
So he's in here. I'm curious to see if he runs well, but I'm looking forward to seeing Strategic Focus run, who I think has a chance to put himself, and everybody here has a chance to put themselves into the upper echelon, into the Travers, which is going to be one heck of a race. Race number 10, I thought, was one of the more fun races on today's card. If I
you added Adam Rice in.
I had
nearly
to.
did.
I
nearly did.
I had to. He got, I didn't expect. See, the reason I didn't have my initial picks was, nor a lot of times they won't ship.
I know.
If they're in the
also
eligible. So the office must have told him that they knew somebody was coming out, and you leave Adam Rice. And he's also Jose Ortiz's first call, so he is riding him. The 13 we're talking about. So don't fall asleep on that horse in your multis.
On the 2.
I agree about Hamilton Way. We'll talk about him in a second, but I want to show the last race with Kid Creasa and Rowan. Kid Creasa wires field at 1 1/8. I salute my friend David Aragona, and I salute anybody to bet him. I don't see it happening. I thought that Rohan ran an exceptional race near, was steadied out after the start, steadied back late. I mean, was wide the whole way around the track. I mean, this horse has improved in leaps and bounds since coming back. Got a huge rider change to Ruben Silvera last time. Now gets a bigger rider change to Jose Lezcano. And I got to tell you, I think this horse is in raging form. I like Rohan today.
I totally agree. He got squeezed back at the start, whereas Kid Creasa had everything his own way on the front end that day, left the rail open, and the winner came up the inside. And to be fair, Barnstorming did come back to win again and improve his buyer by 5 points. But out of that race, I couldn't agree more. I wanted Rohan.
I agree. Hamilton's Way just seems like the horse to beat, right?
Yeah.
Cutting back, dropping down.
I totally agree. Cutting back in distance after trying 1.5 miles behind Vesting, who wired the field, who ran 3rd yesterday in that very competitive race we saw here. And I think it's just back to basics. And it's a logical drop for this horse.
I completely agree. I think Hamilton's Way is the horse to beat. I do want to show Right to Win's last race, and I don't know what to do with him. It does seem like these horses do well for Chad, but I got to tell you, this was a very ugly win by him, and I'm just not sure he can run anymore.
He does not look like an easy horse to ride. That's the gray horse with his head up in the air. And credit to Manny Franco, who kept after him, because he was swapping leads. He was off the bridle at one point. I mean, he did not look like he was easy to ride at any stretch.
I agree. I just don't know if he's much, but I've got him in like you do on that, because one of the things about this race is you've got a very big group of horses that are coming out of the 7th race on June 28th, where the whole field hit the wire together. Mr. Mendelssohn, Union Express, et cetera, Doomed. I don't like any of these horses. I don't like that race at all. And so you sort of chuck them, and it narrows the field down considerably. I don't think Dakota Country is impossible.
Nope.
Was lucky to beat Iron Max, not because of his trip, but because Iron Max had a lousy trip in there. But he still ran a credible figure.
Yeah, and he showed he could win from an outside post last time. Have to work out a trip again today.
See what happens in race number 10. Thank you, Acacia. Thank you for watching. Head over to Naira Bets. Use the promo code SPA200, and we will match the $200 of your initial deposit. Play through Naira Bets. Bet any track, anywhere, anytime through Naira Bets. We also have a $40 feeder contest buy-in for the $300 contest. Head on over to nairabets.com/contest to sign up for that. You have until post time tomorrow. We have the cross-country Big Five, 3 here, 2 at Canterbury. So I guess Canterbury must be starting their evening programs, the Thursday night evening programs. I've got to get to Canterbury one of these days. I will get there. Looks like fun. We have the First Responders Day. You moved it, Eddie. Did you move it? You did. Oh, so Eddie screwed me. I was right. I was supposed to get it right. And Eddie,
he
who's still on the
pressed the wrong
tarmac.
button.
Eddie's actually TDing from the tarmac at LaGuardia right now, which is what happens to people that need to fly from New York to Washington, D.C. when they could have taken the train. You learned your lesson the hard way, my friend. First Responders Day, and of course, the ultimate respect to first responders, getting free today, but we will have a situation, we will be losing my my vocabulary. We will be honoring them throughout the day today on First Responders Day.
You went to the tarmac with Eddie?
Yeah, I don't get on the tarmac because I almost never fly. Taste of New York Pavilion. Head on over near Gate A, Family Zone. Check it out. All sorts of good stuff made right here in New York. We have the blanket giveaway tomorrow while supplies last. You'll need a blanket. It's going to be chilly today, so you'll need a blanket. Too bad they're not today. And last but not least, 1 to 6:30 on FS2 covering all the action. Thank you again. And Frank Miramati is getting ready for another big day here in Saratoga. Day 11. Have a great day.
You bet with Naira Bets. Bet any track, anywhere, anytime. Download the Naira Bets app to play today and get a $200 deposit bonus. Watch live horse racing. Get expert picks. Boost your bankroll with weekly promotions and hone your handicapping skills with exclusive tips and tutorials. Download the Naira Bets app now. Sign up now to claim your $200 deposit match bonus. You bet with Naira Bets.